All right, hello, we're here. Welcome, everyone. It's ANZ Creators.
Hello.
We've got Charlie here with me. I'm Pog. Today, we are going to be talking all things PAX panels. If you don't know about us, ANZ Creators, it's a group of, well, God, we're up to 500 now. 500 active and established content creators in Australia and New Zealand who are, working together to lift each other up and do cool things and promote our region.
But yes, we're here to talk about PAX panels with AstroKerrie, or Kerrie, who is excited to talk to you guys about all the questions that you may have.
Let's welcome her in now.
Absolutely.
Hello, Kerrie. Here she is. She's in the middle. Oh my God. I didn't realize where she'd pop up. Here we
go.
Hello. Kerrie, thank you very much for joining us. I'd love it if you maybe talked a little bit about your background and now your role with PAX.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm AstroKerrie, and I am the Content Manager at PAX Australia. I can't see the chat, but I'm going to assume there's a fair few people in there who are probably already familiar with me. Maybe we worked together at DreamHack last year. I worked a few years with ESL, putting on the local DreamHacks and a couple of the internationals as well. Before that, I was at Crunchyroll, Madman Entertainment, where we run MadFest, anime festival, for 5 years. I think I was there roughly. And before that, I was volunteering at a lot of different conventions. So I have been in the scene for about 15 years now, as an attendee, as an event organizer, as a fan, part of the community. So yeah, I really love doing this kind of stuff, and I'm really grateful to be here with you guys to be able to talk and share more insight to how to run panels.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving up your time tonight. Shads has called you the GOAT, and Middleton has said you're actually a human being.
It is true. I'm real.
Yeah.
I'm not just an enigma.
Real.
Yes.
So
yeah.
to kick us off, I thought we might want to talk about what sort of content, as the PAX content manager, what sort of content are you looking for, and maybe what you're not looking for at PAX Australia. Wild Refrain asked, he's keen to know what PAX's vision is for panels and how would you want creators to help back that up?
Yeah, look, I think there's not a no, nothing, I wouldn't say there is anything that is the wrong answer. I think at its core, PAX is a place for people who love games of all kinds to come together and celebrate our love for games, right? So keep that in mind when you're thinking about what you want your panel to be. Just remember that you are talking to other passionate fans, maybe someone who's just started getting into gaming, and really make sure that you're just, highlighting your love and passion for games. So I think when I'm looking through the applications, I'm thinking, what are our attendees going to like watching? The people who come to the show, if they're going to, there's so many things to do, so many things to check out at PAX. You guys have probably seen how hectic the schedule can be sometimes. So if they're going to pop into your panel, what's happening to entertain them, to involve them as well with their interactions and stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah. I think
that answered it.
I think thinking about the PAX goer, the attendees of PAX is important when you're trying to frame your panel. Yeah. Who's going to sit down and watch me for an hour, and what sort of people are showing up, and how can we cater to them and make them have a good experience, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because, obviously there are a lot of niche areas within gaming, but overall the majority of attendees are just your standard con-goer, people who love video games. They're not necessarily creators. So I think I'm assuming the majority of the people watching this stream are creators themselves, and quite often the mentality goes straight to, I want to do a panel talking about content creation that's kind of going towards content creators, to be consumed by content creators, which is totally great. Love that. They're fantastic ideas. I 100% recommend applying with those ideas. But I think as content creators, don't feel like you have to be boxed in by that being your one thing. Like, for example, if you're a content creator who loves horror games, your panel could be about horror games, talking with other fans of horror games. Like, you don't have to be like, talking to the general public and the community who love watching you as a creator. Like, how can you involve them? How can you talk to them about the things that you're passionate about? It doesn't necessarily have to be about content creation. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was going to say this is like a good like segue into the next kind of question that people are asking, which was like successful or like memorable panels in the past. So like if there's any common themes to what makes a successful panel.
Yeah, look, I think what makes a successful panel is one that really involves the audience. You know, like they feel like they're part of the discussion. They feel like they're part of the experience. One that comes to mind, and I'm not just saying it because you were on it, Pog, was the Overthink Overwatch panel that you guys did at DreamHack. I think was really fun. You know, it was lively, it was exciting, it was funny. You know, it really brought out all the personalities of everyone that was on the stage. People have big opinions about Overwatch. Something that gamers like to do is share their opinions about stuff. So I think that
Wild.
was the perfect combination of you guys sharing something that you're passionate about while keeping the crowd like engaged, and you know they were very much participating along with you.
It's funny. I did a panel 2 years ago at PAX, another Overwatch one. I don't know what's wrong with it. And then I found months later on Reddit people complaining that it was a bit rowdy in my room. But I'm like, I'm not mad at that because there was people, there was a healthy discussion and excited feelings. So I'm like, not mad about that. It's pretty good.
It's all part of it, right? Like we're all fans, we're all excited to be there. So.
Yeah. So crowd involvement is the key, it seems like. But I guess there's probably a space for, like educational content too, right? Or
absolutely. We do have a stage that's like predominantly directed at like industry. So it's an educational stage. So panels that are, you know, speaking about being in the industry, or, you know, that's probably where a lot of the content creation panels will end up. So they are important and do still exist, but you know, obviously entertainment is a big part of running a panel.
Perfect. All right, we might get into a little bit of nitty gritty, maybe. There was a couple of questions around this. So I'm trying to form it all together. So Victory Venus asks, do you have core content you're looking for in panel descriptions? And there was one, just essential. I think we're just looking for like, what are the keys to a successful panel submission? Like when you're reading those forms, like what are you looking for? What are the boxes? Or like, what are you, Yeah.
There's kind of two parts to this. I think it's important when you are applying for any panel to just remember that the person on the other side doesn't know your vision, right? So it's important to fill out all of your ideas, everything that you've got, as descriptive as you possibly can be. The panels are open until July 8th. You guys have got plenty of time. You're not more likely to get approved if you apply early, so don't stress about like getting it in as fast as possible. Take your time, really flesh out the ideas. You know, quite often people will kind of send me like a half idea, and so I kind of get the vision, but I don't see the whole thing. It's much more preferable if when you apply, you say, this is what we'd like to do. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. We're flexible about this and can go that. That's fine. But generally give me a description that's talking to me, and then give me a description that ultimately I would use on the schedule for the actual, for the, you know, the attendees of PAX to look at. So yeah, description to me, telling the person on the other side of the screen what your vision is, what you'd like to do, how you're going to achieve it, and then an actual description that we would use for the schedule. Yeah.
I think there was a follow-up for Middleton. It's probably similar. Aside from straight up not filling out whole portions of the panel forms, what is something you would like to see more creators include in their submissions that would make them stand out?
Look, like I said, the more information, the better. Like, I'm trying to understand what your goal is, what your vision is, and the more that I know exactly what it is, the better. There is a section on there that asks for people's social media handles, and the reason that we do this is for vetting reasons. Like, you don't even have to be a creator to be a panelist. Like, you could just be a passionate community member. So you don't have to worry about having a huge following or anything like that in order to be approved. Like, yeah, it's just really read the questions, see how it's formatted. Like, we really try to make it as obvious as possible about what the information is that I need, because when you apply, that information comes through to me, and then I need to move it all across and start comparing, especially you've got people who might apply for multiple panels. And so let's say I approve 3 panels that have POG on it. I need to make sure that there's no schedule clashes. And the only way that's going to happen is if somebody's put your information in there properly. Sometimes people give like the spelling of their username like not quite right, or maybe someone will have like a little underscore or a dot that doesn't always get included, or maybe they'll use their real name. Like, I kind of need all of the information. That way I'm not doubling up. I'm not accidentally getting someone mixed up. And yeah, also have all of your panelists locked in, please. It is really difficult to change it later. Have everyone locked in. Obviously changes happen, and that's fine. We can be flexible and we are forgiving, but once you send your form in, it's really difficult to change because we get so many applications. If everyone messaged later and needed to change it, it just adds a lot to my workload. So yeah, really just filling out that form as thoroughly as you can and as accurately as you can.
Love that. Be completed, be accurate. Sounds like easy way.
Please.
Hey, I just wanted to point out to chat, if you've got questions for Kerrie, stick them in chat and I'll try and catch them and stick them on the list to be covered. And I think Charlie's got the next question.
Yeah. So the getting still in the nitty gritty of panels, I guess, is what are some good things to know about like how they work, like technical recording logistics based off of like the different room types, so people can, I guess, help flesh out that idea even more.
Yeah. Awesome question. We do actually, so if you follow the prompts, if you go to pax.com.au and then go into the get involved to where the panel like apply section is, there's actually a great deal of information at the beginning of the form application. And also we have a YouTube video on our YouTube where Kitty, our other content manager, has thoroughly broken down like each of the rooms, like what they come with, like a lot of frequently asked questions. So that's a really handy video to go check out. And then also, if you go to the submissions form, we've actually dot point like quite a lot of information about the different rooms. So, for example, panels generally go for an hour, but we do have 90 minutes allocated for one-shot like D&D table, RPG games. Theaters come with a roaming microphone for a host, and we have the gooseneck ones for panelists. There is a computer with an internet, USB port, HDMI cable, and a large screen. Anything else that you need tech-wise, you just have to bring it yourself, and then work with the crew that we have on site to get that set up. Obviously, let me know that that's what you want to do, and I'll let you know if it's possible or not. Because yeah, if you want to record your panel, you'd need to bring the stuff that you would need to record it.
Good to know.
I just linked the video in chat if you guys wanted to check out that, and the PAX website. I like that video from Kitty. It's a good one. Where are we? All right. Adman314 asked, do you have to be a big creator to take part, or even if you're camera shy, would a face mask be allowed?
You can wear a mask if you like. A lot of people, are still very conscious about being in large crowds. Totally fine to wear a mask. Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to show your face. You physically have to be there, but that's totally fine. You don't need to be a big creator. You could just be a passionate community member. If you love what you're talking about, you can be involved. I think, like I mentioned before, the only reason that we ask for a link to a social account is just so I can double check that you're a real person. Just get a general vibe check of who's going to be on the panel. But besides that, anyone who is passionate and wants to talk about what they love, absolutely welcome.
I think that's such a good point. I think when I was setting up a couple of years ago, I was looking for panel members for something, and Kitty ended up connecting me with someone because I was like, oh, I can maybe try for this big creator. I can try for these people they'll get their attention. And she's like, don't worry about it. We just want people that are passionate community members that are like really just know their stuff and love what they're talking about. And I think that is just such a common key to having a really cool and fun panel. And God, it was a great suggestion.
Absolutely.
We're still friends years later. It's been really cool.
I think another tip that's important to remember, we do kind of mention on there to have like four or five speakers as max. Highly recommend not doing a panel on your own. And that's only because speaking for an hour at a large group of people can be hard. It's a difficult thing to do. So if you wanted to talk about a topic but maybe can't find other panelists, maybe just consider getting a host or someone that you can riff with, someone who can ask you questions, really similar to what we're doing right now, like having someone lead the conversation and then you talking about it.
So yeah, the next one was Mark My Words asked, it seems like everyone wants to do a creator panel. What does PAX want more educational creator panels or entertainment panels? I feel like we kind of touched on this before, but we can get into it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there's absolutely a place at PAX for creator-based panels that's directed at creators, because I think even regular attendees who they just play video games casually, they're probably really interested in knowing, like peeking behind the curtains and learning about what it is that you guys do. So it's definitely something that we look for and want to see. I think my main recommendation is just don't feel like you are restricted to just talking about content creation. Like there's so many things about gaming that you could be talking about. Art, music, different genres, tabletop versus digital. Like there's lots of stuff, lots of topics, and just really use your imagination and think big.
Already seeing some. Someone was suggesting a Ready Steady Cook panel just before I just saw in chat. I don't know what was going on there. I love that idea. That's fun. Someone asked. Oh, it's an. Sorry. Okay, here we go. This is one just for you. You should think big now, Kerrie. What's a panel you want to see at PAX Australia 2025 that you've never seen before? I know last year, Kitty was looking for video game characters that are serving cunt, and sadly that didn't appear. So I don't know what happened with that. And I'm curious if you had a dream thing that you would attend.
That's such a kidding thing to say. That's funny. Oh, what would I want? Look, I think I just really love, and this is going to sound really cliche, I'm really fascinated by things that I don't know anything about and being talked out by someone who knows so much about it, right? It could be like the nichest thing ever, like how frogs reproduce. I don't know anything about that, but somebody who really loves talking about that topic, like passionately, and then this happens, and then this happens, and this other really cool thing happened. I'm like, I had no idea. That's actually really neat. Like I've learned a lot. Really cool. So really any panel that I'm surprised by how neat it is. I don't know if that sounds right, but like being caught off guard by like fun facts and really niche information is the kind of stuff that I enjoy. I also really like watching like panels where people have to like make things in a panic, like the cake decorating panels and like the speed build of props, or you know, where people have to really get out of their comfort zone and act real goofy. You know, it's a bit nerve-wracking sitting on a panel, even when you've done it a million times and it's your job. And you know, I think any kind of way that forces people to really come out of their shell and laugh and feel silly and goofy, like yeah, they're the kind of panels I love.
I think we, I don't know, I'm just reflecting on things that I've done. On our sheet that we had, like with all our panel preparation, on the very top, it had in big letters, it was like, keep it silly. That was all we had. And it was like, just trying to like reinforce that vibe that we were trying to do. And I think, yeah, it's just trying to not get things too serious and just like bring people in and be happy and funny about stuff is really cool. Yeah. I love watching, it's like those things like love watching masters at work or things that are just like know so much detail about something. It's just always just really interesting to look at. I think, yeah, we've got some masters in the chat maybe. You got one, Charlie?
I do have one. So I feel like Thai also said a very similar thing as well, coming into the chat. But Victory Venus asked, if you have to decide between two similar panels, what are common deciding factors between what gets picked? Like, I guess the point of difference.
Yeah, I mean, it does happen. You know, you see multiple ideas kind of come through, like people have similar plans. Sometimes the solution can be as simple as these guys applied with 3 people and these guys applied with 2 people. I'm going to message both and say, hey, do you mind combining? Because you've both got great ideas, but they're really similar. I can't approve both, but I can approve like, you know, a joint one. And, you know, that happens quite a bit, you know. Sometimes people just can't, like they've got a really great idea, but they can't find other panelists. And so they're just like, oh, well, I might as well just apply. In that case, like I might group people together. Look, I think, let me think properly how I want to answer this. Because, you know, it's hard. People are doing this because they're passionate and they care, you know, and so I want to make sure that I'm really giving the thought that you guys deserve when, you know, you've put all the effort in to apply and come up with the idea and to organize panelists. So I really want to make sure that you're being properly assessed and like properly, I think like it might be the strength of the application. So like maybe who has more thoroughly told me what it is. You know, quite often people might include, oh, and maybe we could do this, and maybe we could do that, and maybe we could do this. That sounds fantastic, but like it's not a complete story yet. It's like it looks like you still need to do a bit of work, which is totally fine. Like you can apply and, you know, and clean it up later. But if I couldn't merge them together and I had to pick one or the other, I might pick people who maybe I've seen talk on other panels, and I know that they're strong panelists, and I know that historically they bring quite a lot of effort to the panel, or, you know, maybe they've just put more effort into the application itself. Yeah.
There we go. Don't half-ass it.
We've got more to go off. Probably
Don't half-ass it.
Here's an interesting question.
I might also think about like, sorry, just to add on to that. I see a lot of familiar faces. A lot of people apply for a lot of different panels, which is totally fine. Like being on multiple panels is totally cool. But if I had to pick between 2 panels and only one could go through, and one of the panels, I knew that every person on that panel was already talking on another panel, and both applications were equally as good and I can't decide which one I should approve. I'm probably more likely to approve the group that aren't talking on another one, just to keep things fair, you know, to make sure that we're getting as many voices talking on the panels as possible.
Yeah. Great. All right, here's one from Leach. Shane, this is probably a quick one. How many applications do you get roughly? What's the workload?
A lot. Enough to keep me busy until September when the schedule comes out.
It's a big job. And there's one also. There's one also. Are confetti cannons out of the question? That's probably a logistics question.
Yeah, I think our operations team will kill us if we if we left a mess. A general rule of thumb is: can you clean it up in seconds, and is it going to set off the smoke alarms? Don't set off the smoke alarms, and clean up after yourself. And remember, there's usually only like 15 minutes between each panel, so you need to be able to completely clean up your space while the next panel comes in and sets up. So confetti cannons, as amazing as they are, will be an absolute itch to clean up.
Yeah. I feel like the red flags one can be combined with the next one, right? The next question, which is wondering if there's any peeves, like pet peeves that you have in applications that make you say no regardless of the remaining application, like red flags that in applications.
Oh, look, I do roll my eyes when I know we've already been laughing about it, and I know I tweeted about it earlier, but when people apply and they kind of just don't give me the information, they're like, I would like to do this, and then like kind of don't tell me who they are or what they do, and I'm like, okay, you're a ghost as far as I'm concerned. Like I can't approve this. Yeah, I don't really have peeves, like I like what I do. I love my job. I'm very lucky. So I enjoy reading 99.9% of the applications, and I'm usually smiling to myself because I can, people throw jokes in there and I can see their personalities coming through. So yeah, I don't know. I just laugh. I think the thing that I really want people to remember is the person on the other side does not know who you are. They do not know your idea. Like, if a total stranger, which I am to a lot of people applying, is reading this, do they know what you're talking about? Like, do they understand the vision? Because quite often people will kind of give me half sentences and I'm like, cool, I don't know what that is. I'm moving on.
Fair enough. Well, we're running out of questions, chat. If you've got any last final questions, make sure you stick it in chat. We've got one. What types of panels have historically been the most popular? We talked about it a little bit. Most popular. What have you seen though? Yeah, what are the popular ones you've seen? Or no.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think back. Yeah, I mean, like obviously the ones that have special guests on it are pretty popular, but it's kind of a redundant answer. What was one? There was one I was looking at recently that had like pretty good attendance. You have to forgive me because I have worked at many PAXs, but I've not actually been able to be in them, like in the panels. I'm usually on the floor doing weird stuff like marrying furries, but
that was a good one.
Real thing that happened last year. Yeah. So much fun.
That got a lot of attention last year. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was great. I'm talking about the Cult of the Lamb activation, by the way, for anyone that was wondering what that was. Yeah.
I think we talked about it. Yeah, the ones that are like.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah, fair enough.
The PowerPoint party was pretty popular. That one
they are
had
really
some
popular.
good attendance.
You could talk about ones that I wasn't on. Oh, you're on.
No, the curse. I wasn't on I wasn't on Curse Cakes. I watched it, and I had that's like, I think it really like ties back into what you were saying before, Kerrie, about like seeing people talk about stuff passionately, and then also making like having a goof, having a good time.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a few more questions coming in. What would you recommend for people looking for fellow panelists, or otherwise people willing to be panelists but not necessarily have a panel idea? I've got one.
Well, I mean, I think you guys are probably the best people to answer this because you're running a really popular Discord. With, did you say you almost hit 500 creators?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where you guys are at now? So, yeah, that's so awesome. I think joining Discords, very much like the ANZ Creators Discord, where you guys actually have sections where people can find other panelists. Is that right?
That's true. Yeah. We have a mega thread for people trying to just tell us about what they're passionate about and interests and other things that might like trying to match up with other panel ideas. I guess just sort of, hey, I'm interested in retro games and I don't know, psychology or whatever it is. So we've got that going in there. I would say probably also like just use social media as well, trying to put yourself out there, try and get attention, or talk to people that you might know that are putting together panels. But honestly, I think people really need to like put themselves out there and like try and come up with an idea themselves. I think is the hardest part, and that's the part that not many people want to do. And then it's like make your own thing, or you can start your own vision and get people on board and do your own thing. I think that's honestly the best strategy, because as much as people put themselves out there, I think how much success does that actually have? I think you need to be on the front foot rather than on the back foot.
Yeah.
That's my
we
theory.
were talking about that a little before.
Yeah.
I quite often see a lot of people really eager to be panelists. And then there's a handful of people who regularly are the people who create the panel and put the legwork in. And it is a lot of work cultivating a panel, wrangling all the creators or all the panelists. It is a fair bit of work. So I think like being willing to be the person who puts your hand up and goes, I'll organize the logistics of this. Like, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, also Chris was saying, go out and meet people. Go and come to meetups and do all that sort of stuff as well. Be part of the community. I think that's always an important thing. I think I've got one there for you, Charlie.
Oh yeah. How is the room theatre allocation decided? Is it based on interest or like an internal discussion off of like what I guess the vision that people are trying to put together?
Yeah, so the theatres actually have themes, which we follow, and I've got it written down somewhere. I'm not looking at it directly right now, but we have 2 theatres that are just miscellaneous gaming. It could be anything gaming related. We have a cosplay theatre. We have the Together Lounge Theatre, which is more focused on diversity, whether it's people with disabilities or anyone in the queer community. Like that's where those kind of go. We also have a stage that's fully for education purposes. It's maybe industry people talking about the industry. That's the education stage. We have the Generosity Theatre, which is completely curated by Generosity, which is a charity. So there's a lot of fun kind of panels that they have on there with the intention of raising money for the charity. And then we have the main stage and a second stage, which is, I don't know, we have quite a lot of theatres. We have like 8 or 9.
I love
and
the
they do have
of the
themes
D&D one
to them.
last year. It was super cool.
Yes, thank you. That's the one that I've forgotten. We do have like a one-shot tabletop roleplay room, which is basically people can do one-shot campaigns. There's an hour and a half allocation for those ones.
So cool. I don't know if that question's appropriate, Middleton. I'm scared to ask. I don't know if you see that there, Kerrie.
Yeah, don't know. We don't need.
I don't know about that one.
Oh, okay. No, I will answer it.
I'll read it out. Personal question for Kerrie. Immersions, Carol. Yeah, okay.
I'm a Sleep Token fan. For those watching at home, it's a Sleep Token question. I would fuck Emergence, marry Caramel, and kill Domicles.
Great. we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here now for questions. All right.
If I could have a theatre that's just dedicated to sleep token PowerPoints, I would make that happen. There you go. That's an easy way. Get a make it about sleep token.
That sounds like about time to wrap up with questions. I think we've tried to cover most things. Maybe like just anything final, anything you think you haven't said that might not have been asked that you want to like convey to the community that are putting together panels. Anything you want to, any wisdom you want to leave us with, or any final thoughts?
Look, I think it's just important to remember what PAX is, which is a place for everybody who's passionate about gaming of all kinds, of all walks of life, of all skill levels, all coming together to celebrate gaming. It's a big event. A lot of people are interested. There is a lot of interest. Some people get through, some people don't. I think, and this goes with like applying for anything, you know, like maybe if your panel isn't approved or you're unapproved, it's important to know that that's not a reflection of you or your ability or like, you know, your importance. Just sometimes it just doesn't happen. And I think it's just important to take it on the chin and just to keep trying and keep going. And yeah, so have fun. Yeah, enjoy yourself.
Flesh out your ideas and tell the vision like you're telling some random person walking down the street so they understand, right?
Now, if you've got follow-up questions today, we can have a more discussion in the ANZ Creators Discord. Kerrie might be around to answer any questions as well. So please, we'll start the discussion. If you want to, you know, we want to be the people that can like help you improve your ideas or connect you to other panelists and do all that sort of stuff. So if you're in the Discord now, it is a members only Discord. So on our Twitter page, if you want to look at, if you're interested in applying of that, but you can also ask online.
Let me find the link. You keep talking.
There we go. That's our Twitter. It's got some information about how to apply for ANZ Creators.
There we go. Yep.
Also, there's probably some other avenues as well. I think PAX has its own Discord server as well. I don't know. I'm not sure.
We do have a PAX community Discord, which I really should be pushing.
There you go.
But
PAX community
yeah,
Discord.
Okay, I'll find the where's the PAX. I'm in the PAX Discord too. There it is, the PAX Oz community Discord, right?
Yep, that's the one.
Yep.
There we go.
You can join the line simulator. Very intriguing.
I love that. Hey, thanks for your time, Kerrie. I hope
my pleasure.
I hope people have learned stuff today. I'm certainly feeling a bit inspired and confirming some thoughts that I've thought about more the PAX side of how they're deciding around panels. So it's been really nice to hear you talk about that and share your days. Everyone, thank Kerrie in the chat. Say thank you right now.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll let Kerrie go. So thank you very much, Kerrie. And guys, if you want to support PAX, come to PAX in Melbourne on the 10th to 12th of October and go to all the panels and do all the things.
Yes.
Please. Thank you so much. All right. I'll let you go. All right. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
See ya.
Thanks,
See
Kerrie.
ya.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.